Namaste. It's Jacci. We're here to do a little bit of yoga together today. So take a moment to get what you need for your practice. If you have a yoga mat, you can set that out on the floor. And if you don't have a yoga mat, it's fine. You can just lie out some space where you have room to lie down and stretch your arms over your head. If you have a towel or a blanket or something to use to pad your knees when we come down to hands and knees, I find that helpful. So get what you need, maybe close the door of the room that you're in, turn off your devices, and give yourself the next maybe 30, 40 minutes to care for yourself. So we're going to start on the hands and knees today. So if you come down onto the floor, and I like to pad my knees, so I have a blanket here for that. If you don't need to pad your knees, that's okay. And once you come onto the table, come onto the hands and knees, we call this tabletop position. We're trying to stack up the joints. So the shoulders are over the wrists, the hips are over the knees. You might kind of woggle your hips a little bit, just check in. Spread your fingers nice and wide. And then just centering your joints, hips over the knees, shoulders over the wrists. We're going to begin with some breathing here. So inhale through the nose and lift your chest. And as you exhale, begin to pull your navel into the back rounds and slowly sink back to child's pose, letting your elbows touch down and your hips fold back. And then rise back up on your in-breath, lifting your chest and your eyes. And then do that again, exhaling back to child's pose. And rising on the inhale, both the inhale and the exhale through the nose here. So exhale back, rounding the spine, lowering the elbows, letting the head bow down, and then rising on your in-breath like you're pulling your hands toward your knees. And again, exhale back. On this inhale, let's pick up the right leg. So take your right leg behind you, lift it, stretch a little bit, lift your chest, and then lower your knee down and fold your hips back. We're going to repeat that with the right leg a couple of times. So come up, right leg. You can flex that foot. You can lift your chest. And then exhale down and fold back, nice and smooth. Let's do the right leg one more time. Coming up, right leg back. And then lower down, exhale. And then switch legs. So inhale, lift your left leg. Flex your foot, push your heel away. And then exhale, come down, pull your belly in as you fold back. And again, left leg on the in-breath. And then down on the exhale. I think that was 3. And then inhale up to all fours. And lower your elbows down onto the mat. So we're going to let the hips rock side to side. This is stretching out, increasing the lumbar curve in the low back. And if you like, you could also open up your shoulders a bit in this position by taking your hands further in front of you and lowering your head closer to the floor. So depending on your shoulders, that may or may not be a helpful position. It's fine to stay on your elbows. Either way you can sway. This is puppy pose. So you can stretch out like your puppies and kitties. And then push back up onto your hands and lift up to stand on your knees. And the padding may be helpful for this. I'm going to just turn so that I'm facing you for this next movement. And we're going to do a few lifts of the arms in this position. You may have your feet flat. You may have your toes tucked under. Either way is fine. So thinking about your breath here, inhale your arms out to the side and up. Lift your chest and let your eyes float up too. And exhale down, letting the hands come down as the eyes go down. Inhale up, lengthening the sides of the body, and exhale down. Let's do one more like that. Inhale up. And a nice slow exhale to lower everything down. And this time, right arm only. So lift your right arm over, up. And we're going to exhale that right arm over the head and lean over, even looking down at the floor. And then inhale, reach that arm up, maybe looking up toward your right hand. And exhale, hugging your belly as you lean over. Reach up as you inhale up. One more like that. Exhale to the left, looking down if you like. Inhale up, and now exhale, lower that right arm forward and down and turn your head over the opposite shoulder. Use your eyes, and then inhale the right arm back up, letting your head turn back to the center, maybe lifting your eyes up. And again, exhale, lower your arm, turn your head over the opposite shoulder. And one more, lift your arm up, lift your eyes up, nice and smooth and slow. And exhale, that arm down, look over your shoulder. And when you get to the inhale, just bring your head back to the center. And then you can do some little shoulder rolls here and notice the two sides. So we'll repeat those movements on the other side. So please lift your left arm up. And on the exhale, hug your belly in and lean over. You're welcome to look down toward the floor here. And then reach up, look up. And belly in as you exhale over. What do you notice on the two sides? Inhale up, so one side's getting a little stretch, the other side's getting a little squeeze. So see what you feel. Exhale over, looking down if you like. And then inhale up, and then that second movement. So exhale the arm forward and turn your head, peek over your right shoulder. Use your eyes to help you. And then inhale as the arm lifts, the head floats back to the center. Lift your chest and your eyes. Belly in as you lower the arm, turn your head. Try not to turn your shoulders so much, just your head, your neck. And then inhale, back up. Last one. Lower your arm, turn your head. And then again, bring your head back to the center, some little shoulder rolls here. And then we're going to do 3 repetitions. You could take your arms out to the side again, or if you like, you can try taking both arms forward. It does increase the back bend a little bit. So inhale the arms forward and up, or out to the side if you prefer. And exhale down. See if you can start to let your breath get just a little bit slower. And again, inhale back up, lifting the eyes, reaching. Belly in as you exhale down. And again, inhale. And down on the exhale. And then you can pause again. Notice the shoulders. Notice your neck. And, of course, the spine. We're kind of waking up the spine with these movements. So we're going to come back down to all fours, back to the tabletop position. And we're going to go tabletop to child's pose a couple of times again to stretch out the back. So exhale, navel in as you round back to child's pose. And inhale, tabletop, lift your chest, lift your eyes. Exhale back, folding back. Head can bow. Maybe your forehead touches the floor. Inhale up. If it doesn't, it's fine. See where you go. One more time back. And then up on the in-breath. So we're going to continue to do these lengthening, lifting movements of these extensions of the spine. So we're going to come to lie down on our stomach. You can move the padding out of the way if you like. If you have, for some people the hip bones are a little tender when you lie on your stomach, and if you need to pad your hip bones, that's fine. So when you come down, you can stack your hands up and rest your forehead on your hands. I have my head up a little higher because it kind of messes with the microphone here. So let your attention come to your legs. You can woggle your hips a little bit. And we're going to do some leg lifts. So you bring your attention to your right leg on the inhale. Lift and lengthen your right leg. Try to lift your leg without letting your hip bone come up off the floor. And then exhale down, pull your belly in. Do your right leg again. Inhale. And then exhale down, hug your belly in. One more time with the right leg. And then exhale down. And we're going to shift over to the left leg. So lift and lengthen. This is a small movement, so go slow because we want to breathe slow. Exhale down. Take the whole inhale to lift your leg. Try to keep the hip bone on the floor. Slow exhale to come down. Pull your belly in. And one more. Lift and lengthen the left leg. Exhale down. You can pause and rock, see what you feel in your back. And then we're going to try to lift the opposite arm. So if you're comfortable stretching your arms out in front of you like a superhero, you might have them a little bit wider. If this isn't great for your shoulders, you can do the movement with a bent elbow. That's fine too. And again, you can have your forehead on the floor. I'm just going to keep my head up so you can hear me. Okay. So please start with the right leg and the opposite arm. So on an inhale, right leg and left arm. They reach away from each other. And the whole exhale to bring them back down. Left leg, right arm, inhale. And the whole exhale to bring them down. Again, you can breathe a little faster or slower than me if you like. Right leg, left arm, inhale. Exhale down, hug your belly in. Try to breathe as slowly as you can, though. Inhale, left leg, right arm. Exhale down. And then let your hands come down by your sides. See how that feels for your shoulders. Again, maybe you tuck your forehead so you can tuck your chin so your forehead can be on the floor. And now we're going to, still like a superhero, we're going to lift the chest. And as you lift your chest, your head, of course, lifts, and the hands can reach back toward your toes. And then come down and turn your head to one side. Inhale up, turning your head to the center. And as you lower down, turn your head to the other side. So we're going to see about lifting the legs as well. So for some people that may be comfortable, and if it's not comfortable for you, just skip the legs. So if you like on your inhale, try lifting your chest and both legs. Come down slowly, turn your head to one side. And then inhale, lift your chest and maybe the legs. And then come down, turn your head to the other side. If this hurts your back, lift less. So see if you want to hold one breath. We're going to hold if you can. It's okay if you just do your chest. So when you're ready, on an inhale, lift. Stay on the exhale. Breathe through your nose. Stay on the inhale. Lift a little. Come down and take a moment to notice how that felt. So if you like, you can do that again, or you could just lift and lower like we were doing before. So I'm going to go up one more time. I'm going to try to hold 3 breaths, but you can see how it works for you. Again, breathing at your own pace. So when you're ready, you can come up on an inhale, either just the chest or the chest and the legs. And as you hold on the exhale, you may notice that you soften a little bit as the diaphragm contracts. And then when you inhale, you lift a little. And exhale. And inhale. So it's fine if you've already come down. Exhale. Keep breathing if you're still here. And then when you get to your next exhale, come on down. And then we're going to push back to child's pose. So use your hands, push yourself back. We want to round the back after that movement. If you find it helpful to slide that padding back under your knees, you can do that. Just come back and you can rock a little bit here. And you might have your head on some support. And then push back up to all fours. Again, feel free to slide that padding under your knees. And we're going to do tabletop to child's pose a couple of times, just to stretch out our back after those poses. So inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, navel in, round back. And this should feel pretty good after what we just did. Inhale to your knees, lift your chest. Exhale, round back. Then inhale to tabletop. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Tuck the toes under. Push up to downward facing dog pose. Hold here, maybe with a slight bend in the knee so that you can really lengthen up from your hands to your hips. You can pedal out your legs. And just stretch out the whole back side of the body here. And then we're going to do tabletop to down dog. So on your inhale, lower both knees to the floor. Lift your chest. On your exhale, pull your navel in and push slowly back up. So slowly as you can, inhale down to your knees. Maybe they touch right at the same time. Lift your chest. Exhale, belly in, push back up to dog pose. And again, inhale down. And then exhale back up. And if you like, you can hold down dog again. If you'd prefer to come down to your knees, you can come to child's pose and stay there. So if you're holding the pose, the downward dog pose, you may be walking out your legs. You might have a little bend in your knees. If you're in child's pose, you might rock a little bit, have your knees wider. And then from wherever you are, we're going to come up to standing. So if you're in child's pose, you can just push up. And if you're in down dog, you can just walk your hands and feet together and stand up on your feet. And if you had some padding there, you can move it out of the way. And then we're going to take a moment, see how it feels to stand on our feet. So you might give your hands a little shake. And then we're going to do a little swinging movement that I like. So the feet are going to be about shoulder width apart, and the arms are going to flop around and tap your back. This is called empty coat sleeves. You picture a child in the big person's coat. You want to get that little tap around your back with your hands. This touches the kidney meridian. If you want to also add another little tap, you can let the front hand tap your lungs, like right under your collarbone. You could even kind of cup your hands, so get a little tap. So one hand in front and one hand in back. And you might even be rocking that back heel up off the floor. Let your head turn in with your shoulders. You could turn your eyes a little bit. Should feel pretty nice. Good. And then come to center. Take a moment standing in mountain pose. See how you feel. All right, so we're going to do a sequence in our in standing. We're going to start, I'm going to turn to the side. You can just keep standing with your feet hip width apart. And we're going to do a half forward fold. So rather than letting the head drop down, we're going to bend the knees a little bit and go halfway down. And when you lift up, lift your chest a little bit like what we did lying on the floor in our superhero pose. So you can have your hands on your hips. We'll try one. So exhale down, soften the knees, belly in. And then lift your chest to come up. So you feel your back muscles engage as you come up. And then we're going to add an arm, again, a little bit like what we did on the floor. So lift your right arm up on your inhale, and on your exhale, bend your knees a little and fold halfway down. And on your inhale, lengthen that arm to rise back up. Maybe you lift your eyes too. Again, do that again. Same arm. Exhale, belly in as you fold a little bit, halfway down. And lengthen your arm, lift your chest to come up. On the exhale, lower that arm down, and then we'll lift the other arm on the in-breath. Bend your knees a little. Exhale, left arm folds. And then lengthen, lift the chest to come up. Hopefully you feel just a little bit of work in your back. Same arm again. Exhale. We'll lengthen to lift. Inhale. Exhale that arm down, and we'll try both arms. You can lift them all the way up over your head, or you could do this cactus arms. That'll be a little less strain. Shouldn't strain your back. So exhale halfway down, belly in, bend the knees a little, and lift and lengthen on the way up. Push through your feet to rise back up. We're going to do that 2 more. See if you can go slower. Exhale down. Lift and lengthen to come up. The slower you go, the more you get to work those back muscles. Exhale down. Inhale up. Good. And then you can bring your arms down. You can do some shoulder rolls. And then for the next movement, we're going to do the warrior one position. So I'm facing the short edge of my mat. I have my feet hip width apart. I'm going to step the right foot forward so it's pretty much in line with my right hip, and my left foot back so it stays over there in line with my left hip, and that back foot is turned out at an angle. And then bend the knee on the inhale. Make sure that front knee is over your heel. This is a test bend. We just want to get this distance set up. And on the exhale, as you straighten the leg, you can touch your belly. And then we're going to inhale into the pose, bending the knee. Lift your arms up with the elbows bent, that cactus arms position. Feel your shoulder blades draw together. And on your exhale, just lower your arms back down as you straighten the leg. Belly in. Inhale. Exhale. Now, if you like those back bend, those extensions we've been doing, you can find that movement here as well. Exhale. If it's not feeling great for your back, that back bend's a little too much, as you inhale and come into the pose, lean forward just a little bit. It'll take some of that curve away. Exhale. The next one we're going to hold the pose, so feel free to lean forward a little bit if it's helpful. Bend the knee. Inhale. Now stay on your exhale. Hug your belly and draw your elbows down a tiny bit, shoulder blades together. And on the inhale, just lift your chest, lift your arms back up that tiny bit. Exhale, belly in, shoulder blades together. Inhale, little lift. Exhale, hugging down. And then we're going to change the movement. So on the inhale, I'd like you to straighten the front leg. And on the exhale, we're going to bow halfway down again. While that front leg is straight, you might feel your hamstrings. And same movement on the inhale, bend your knee, rise up. Feel your back muscles pulling you up nice and slow. So straighten the leg, exhale, bow. Bend the knee, inhale, lift. One more like that, straighten the leg, exhale, bow. Bend the knee, inhale, chest lifts as back muscles are working to pull you up. And then we're going to try to hold that bow. So straighten the leg, exhale down. And just like we did when we were standing, inhale, lift your elbows, lift your hands a little bit, lift your chest a little bit. And on the exhale, maybe you bow back down a tiny bit, draw your elbows down toward your waist. Inhale, little lift. This front knee, keep it soft. Exhale, belly in. Hopefully you feel a little work in your back muscles here. Inhale. Exhale. So you can bend the front knee. If you're a fan of the downward facing dog pose, you could do the pose here. Otherwise, you could stand up with me, give your feet a little shake, and we'll do that swinging movement again. So feet a little bit wide, hands can wrap around your back. You can do just the kidney tap in the back, or you can do the tap of your lungs with the front hand. If you're in downward dog, go ahead and make your way up to standing and swing a little bit with us. Now take a pause. So if you bring your feet back, hip width apart, stand tall. Maybe the palms are open. Maybe your eyes are closed. How do you feel? What do you notice about the two sides of your body after we did that sequence on one side? So we're noticing how we feel in the body, but we're also just checking in. How do you feel? So open your eyes if you had them closed, and we'll do the sequence on the other side, the warrior one part. So we'll step the left foot forward, heel in line with your left hip. The right foot back heel in line with your back hip, and then test bend. So bend your front knee, want it pretty much over your heel. You can adjust this distance between your feet so you feel steady. When you straighten that front leg, we're going to touch the abdomen, get that hugging in. And then here we go. We're going to inhale, bend the knee, cactus arms, lift them up. On the exhale, as you extend the front leg, lower your arms, soften your eyes, hug in your belly. Bend the knee, inhale, lift, and again, here's that back bend. You may like it. Exhale, extend the leg, lower your arms. If you don't like that strain in your back, if it is a strain, bend the knee and you can lean forward just a little bit. It'll take some of that strain off your back. Exhale. Next one, we're going to hold the pose. So bend the knee, lifting. As you hold in place, draw the elbows down, draw the shoulder blades together, belly in. As you hold in place on the inhale, lift your hands a little bit, maybe lift your eyes. Exhale, navel and shoulder blades together, drop the elbows down a little bit. Inhale, little lift. One more exhale. This inhale will straighten the front leg. Exhale, begin the bow on this side. As you inhale, we'll bend the knee and lift back up, just like you did your little superhero pose on the floor. Exhale, straighten the leg, take the bow, belly in, keep the front knee soft. Bend the knee, inhale back up. One more time. Exhale. Slowly down. Inhale, slowly up. And this time we'll go down and hold the forward fold. So straighten the leg, exhale, bow. Inhale, lift your elbows, lift your chest a little. Exhale, belly in. Maybe you bow back down, keeping the front knee a little soft. Inhale. Exhale. Keep some weight in your back leg. Inhale. Exhale. And then please bend your front knee. Let yourself rise back up and we'll come to standing. And you can jiggle and shake. And then we'll little swinging just a little bit here. You can turn your head, so the back heel might rock up. If you're turning your head, we get a little movement in the neck, the swinging of the arms, a little movement in the thoracic spine, and that lifting of the heels, a little gentle twist in the low back. And then come to your mountain pose again. Stand nice and tall. Maybe the palms are open again. And take that opportunity again to notice how you feel. So you're welcome to close your eyes. So you can notice the sensations in your body, but also notice your breath and how are you doing? How do you feel? So for the next part, you can open your eyes. We're going to lie down on the back. So when you come to lie down, take a moment to get yourself situated and draw your knees into your chest one at a time. Some ankle circles may be nice. Some massaging of those back muscles. So rocking, circling the knees. You might have your knees wider. Sometimes that's more comfortable. Move your feet, shaking the feet, circling the ankles, all nice after those standing poses. Take your feet to the floor. We're going to take the feet out to the edges of the mat, just a little gentle twist for that low back area. We're going to do this windshield wiper movement. So on the exhale, we're going to let the knees fall to one side. And on the inhale, the knees can rise back up. On the exhale, as the knees fall to the other side, you might turn your head the opposite way. Inhale. So noticing how this feels for your hips and your back. If you have issues, you can continue with your movement, moving with your breath. If you have injuries, things going on in your hips, or you tend to have problems with your SI joints, you may want to keep this movement quite small so that this hip doesn't rise up off the floor. You just go side to side a little bit. You'll still get that little gentle twist, and you won't maybe strain those joints. So see what feels appropriate for you. I rather like the small movements sometimes because I can actually really feel my hips and the sacrum on the floor. So see what you like today. And then from wherever you are, come to the center with your knees and walk your feet in so that they're lined up with your hip bones. We're going to do a few repetitions of the bridge pose. We're gonna lift the hips up off of the floor, but we're also gonna lift our arms up over our head like we did in that thing when we were standing on our knees. So let's start with the arms only. On your next in-breath, lift your arms over your head. Go slow, reach up. And on your exhale, as your arms come down, hug your belly in. And we'll do that again, but this time I'll add the hips. So as you lift your arms up this time, lift your hips up toward the ceiling. And then as you exhale down, see if your hands and your hips can touch together. So your hips are only moving a little bit and your arms have a long way to go. So see if you can coordinate all that. So inhale, hips up, hands up. Slow exhale to come down, letting everything touch at the same time. You want to keep your neck even here. Don't turn your neck as you do this movement. Let's do a couple more. Inhale. Exhale. So if you like, you could hold the next one, and it's fine if you're lifting only your hips rather than the hips and the arms. So if you want to go up and hold a couple breaths, you can. If it's more comfortable for you to come down, just let the exhale bring you down. And if you haven't already come down, let's come down on the next exhale. And once you've come down, you can just gently draw the knees back up into your chest and give yourself a hug. Some people really like lifting the chest up toward the knees after that movement. You can see how that feels for you. Maybe a little shake. You can shake your hands. And then bring your feet down. Let the feet be a little bit wider. And for some people, letting the knees touch is also quite nice. So wherever your legs feel like they can be comfortable and rest. And let your eyes either just softly looking at one spot or let your eyes close. And like we did in those pauses when we were standing, we'll just take a pause here to notice. So letting go of the effort to control your breath, noticing any tension in your neck or shoulders that you could release. And then noticing your hips, your low back, how does your body feel? So as we shift toward Shavasana, the relaxation part, you could lie flat. You could stretch your legs out flat. And we did a bunch of those little back bends today, so you may find that you are a bit more comfortable having your knees bent. You can stretch them out flat, and if you just noticed that today, felt better when my knees were bent, just keep your knees bent. Or you could put a pillow under your knees or a blanket. Even resting the legs up on a chair or on the sofa can be a really nice way to release any pulling or tension in the low back. You can keep your hands on your belly or stretch them out, palms up. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, please let the eyes close. Some people have little eye pillows, or you could just drape a sleeve over your eyes just to help take some of the light out and to help you relax. Let out a good sigh. Take one more breath like that and let out a good sigh. Give yourself permission to rest now. So this last part of the practice where we rest in stillness, Shavasana, the pose is called. Time to integrate all the information from the postures and the breathing. So give yourself permission to rest. I'll say a closing prayer. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. May we all be safe. May we all be happy. May we all be healthy. May we all live with ease. May we all live in peace. So I encourage you to remain still, resting for another 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes if you have it. And if that is a little challenging for you, that part where we try to lie still, if you feel like you really need to just hop right up, see if you can stay for 12 breaths. And I look forward to seeing you the next time. Namaste.